Alright, this video goes along with the recent blog that I had submitted to SPL. It's Strangeways, Here We Come, talking about input lists and mic techniques, stuff like that. So the bottom line with the input list thing was that I've always done it differently than just about everybody else I've ever met. I run into shows and I meet a tech and he's like, why do you do your input list like this? It's just weird. We don't do it like this. No one ever does. No one's ever seen it like this. So I just thought I'd write about it and explain why I do what I do and what I'm doing. So the typical input list is, on drums anyway, kick, snare, hi-hat usually, rack tom, mid-tom, floor tom, overheads maybe. To me, that really never made sense because if you're looking at the drum kit, you're going to start with kick, yeah, obviously, then snare. But if you do it like I do, and pretty much everyone I know does, you go from left to right as you're kind of reading it. So from left to right across the stage, the next thing that would come into play would be either the hi-hat, that's certainly true, but as far as toms go, it would be the lowest floor tom, which to a right-handed drummer is on stage right, and from front of house view, it's to the left. So my input list was always kick, snare, and then floor tom, and then the next highest tom, then the next tom, and then the highest rack tom. So again, it's as you look at it going across the drum kit. And the weird thing comes into play when people, have to cross path and, start messing around with wires and cables, and if you're in a festival situation, things get really screwy. So, in a lot of situations where there's a time crunch, I won't worry about it. Just patch it the way you need to, and I can either soft patch it on the desk or just deal with it the way it is. But when I have time and, we can put the effort into making it the way I'd like to have it, that's how I do it. So the other benefit for me doing it that way with all the shelled drums together is that when I look at my console, which is an Avid profile usually, I can go to my high-pass filter page and just look at all the high-pass filters and see that they're all grouped together. And I do kind of roll up the snare a little bit, but for the most part, all my shell drums have very low high-pass filters, and then the cymbals, which are grouped next, have pretty high ones. So I can very quickly look and just hit that button and see them right there. And it's just a visual thing for me. It makes it a little easier. So again, the input list would be kick, snare, floor tom, the lowest floor tom, then the next one, and up from there. And somebody else also mentioned that makes sense because you play a piano low from left to right up to high. So it made sense that the drums would start from the left low and then go up high as they go towards the right. So that's cool too. As far as cymbals, I usually have the ride and then the hi-hat and then the overheads grouped together. Sometimes I do the overheads and then ride and hi-hat, but again I do the ride because for a right-handed drummer it's going to be stage right, and from front of house it's on the left.